The China-Pakistan alliance has become a defining partnership of the 21st century, anchored by the Belt and Road Initiative, China's global infrastructure push to revive ancient trade routes. Pakistan quickly embraced this vision, making the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, the flagship of the BRI. CPEC is more than a road, it's a vast network of highways, railways and pipelines connecting China's Xinjiang region to Pakistan's Gwadar port on the Arabian Sea. For Pakistan, CPEC promised economic modernization and relief from chronic energy shortages. For China, it offered a secure, shorter route for vital energy imports, bypassing the vulnerable Strait of Malacca. This partnership is a grand bargain. China gains strategic access to the sea, while Pakistan receives transformative investment, binding their futures together. CPEC stands as a concrete symbol of their mutual interests and deepening interdependence. CPEC's impact is now unmistakably visible in Pakistan's economy, transforming landscapes and livelihoods across the country. Over $62 billion in Chinese investment has fueled a wave of new infrastructure, energy projects and industrial zones, laying the foundation for long-term growth and modernization. By 2030, these projects are expected to create over 2 million jobs, offering new opportunities for young Pakistanis and boost Pakistan's GDP growth by 2.5%, a significant leap for the nation's economy. The most immediate and tangible benefit has been in the energy sector. CPEC power plants now supply a quarter of Pakistan's electricity, ending years of crippling blackouts, powering industry, and lighting up homes that were once in darkness. Trade between China and Pakistan has soared to unprecedented levels, with China now Pakistan's largest trading partner and a major buyer of Pakistani raw materials from textiles to minerals. Imports from China have doubled, and exports like copper have skyrocketed, reflecting deepening economic integration and a new era of cross-border commerce. The influx of Chinese capital, expertise and advanced technology is reshaping Pakistan's economy, creating jobs, modernizing industries and stabilizing the power grid for millions. While the long-term effects are still unfolding and challenges remain, those short-term gains are undeniable, bringing hope and optimism to communities nationwide. The Iron Brotherhood is now an economic reality, visible in Pakistan's ports, factories and trade statistics, and in the everyday lives of its people. Despite the economic gains and the promise of rapid development, critics warn of the mounting costs that come with such progress. Chinese investment has largely come as loans, not grants, leading to a dramatic increase in Pakistan's debt burden. In just 3 years, Pakistan's debt to China soared from $7.2 billion in 2017 to a staggering $30 billion by 2020, raising alarm among economists and policymakers alike. This surge in debt has fueled fears of so-called debt trap diplomacy, the idea that China could use unpaid loans as leverage, pressuring Pakistan into making strategic concessions and potentially eroding its sovereignty over time. The Gwadar port, now operated by a Chinese state-owned company, has become a focal point for these anxieties, symbolizing both opportunity and vulnerability for Pakistan. As Pakistan's dependency on Chinese capital and expertise grows, so do concerns that key national decisions, economic, political, and even security-related, could be increasingly influenced by Beijing's interests. The line between partnership and subservience is blurring, raising urgent questions about Pakistan's ability to chart its own independent course in the years ahead. Leaders now face a difficult dilemma: how to harness the benefits of Chinese investment for much-needed growth, while avoiding the risk of falling into a cycle of dependency that could limit their freedom of action. The challenge is to reap the rewards of development and modernization without sacrificing the nation's independence or its ability to make sovereign choices. Ultimately, the future of Pakistan's sovereignty may hinge on how wisely and carefully it manages this delicate balance between opportunity and autonomy. In spring 2025, tensions over Kashmir erupted into a 4-day war, the most dangerous South Asian crisis in decades. A terrorist attack in Indian-administered Kashmir triggered Indian air and missile strikes deep inside Pakistan, targeting alleged militant camps. Pakistan retaliated with its own strikes, and for 4 days the skies over Kashmir saw intense dogfights and missile exchanges. The spectre of nuclear escalation loomed as both sides mobilized their arsenals. International intervention led by the US brokered a ceasefire after 4 days of brutal combat. The brief war reshaped the region's strategic landscape and brought the world to the brink of catastrophe. It also marked the combat debut of advanced Chinese weaponry in Pakistan's arsenal. The conflict was a turning point, testing new alliances and military technologies under fire. The 2025 war was a showcase for China's military technology, as Pakistan's new Chinese-made J-10C fighter jets clashed with India's Rafales and Mirages. Pakistani pilots, armed with China's long-range PL-15E missiles, claimed to shoot down several Indian jets, challenging the reputation of Western aircraft. Massive air battles, some involving over 100 jets, highlighted a new era of high-tech warfare in South Asia. Chinese HQ-9 air defense systems and UCAVs provided Pakistan with advanced protection and persistent surveillance. The success of these systems validated China's defense industry and boosted its global arms export ambitions. The battlefield had changed. Chinese technology had arrived, and it was lethal. The war accelerated China-Pakistan military integration. Pakistan boosted its defense budget, directing much of it to Chinese arms. Now 80% of Pakistan's arms imports come from China, including a landmark deal for 40 J-35 stealth fighters, making Pakistan the first export customer for this fifth-generation jet. Joint exercises like Warrior 8 and Green Shield have become routine, building operational interoperability between the two militaries. China's involvement extends to securing CPEC, with private security and anti-terror systems protecting key assets. At sea, Pakistan is acquiring Chinese-built submarines and frigates, transforming Gwadar port into a dual-use facility with major military implications. The alliance is no longer just about trade. It's about shared security and strategic reach. Gwadar is now a symbol of China's expanding maritime influence in the Indian Ocean. During the 2025 war, China walked a diplomatic tightrope, publicly calling for restraint while privately assuring Pakistan of its unwavering support. This dual-track approach let China maintain global credibility and avoid alienating India, even as it backed its iron brother behind the scenes. The war's outcome validated Chinese military technology, shattering the myth that its weapons were mere copies of Western designs. Chinese arms exports gained new prestige, positioning Beijing as a serious competitor to the US and Russia. China's careful balancing act deepened its strategic bond with Pakistan while avoiding direct confrontation with India. Beijing emerged as the indispensable power broker in South Asia. The world saw China's ability to shape regional outcomes without firing a shot itself. China's alliance with Pakistan is driven by hard strategy, not sentiment. CPEC secures China's energy lifeline, giving it direct access to the Indian Ocean and bypassing the vulnerable Strait of Malacca. A strong Pakistan serves as a counterweight to India, forcing New Delhi to divide its military focus and resources. By arming Pakistan, China complicates India's strategic calculus and projects power into the Muslim world and Central Asia. The alliance challenges US dominance and supports China's vision of a multipolar world order. Pakistan is China's key piece in the regional chess game, a gateway for influence and a check on rivals. The partnership is central to Beijing's ambition to become a global superpower despite international scrutiny. For China, the benefits of this deep alliance far outweigh the risks. The China-Pakistan axis is set to deepen, fueling a new arms race in South Asia. This partnership, once limited to diplomatic support and economic cooperation, is now evolving into a robust military alliance with far-reaching consequences for the region. Pakistan's acquisition of J-35 stealth fighters and advanced Chinese naval assets will force India to accelerate its own military modernization. India is now investing heavily in next-generation aircraft, warships, and surveillance systems to keep pace with its neighbors' growing capabilities. The likely basing of Chinese-built submarines and frigates at Gwadar raises the prospect of joint naval operations, threatening India's sea lanes and extending China's reach. This development could shift the maritime balance, giving China and Pakistan a strategic foothold in the Indian Ocean. Advanced missile defenses and nuclear modernization on both sides are eroding strategic stability, increasing the risk of miscalculation. The introduction of new technologies and rapid deployment of missile systems make the region more volatile than ever before. The region is locked in a cycle of technological one-upmanship, with nuclear arsenals growing and delivery systems becoming more sophisticated. Each side's pursuit of superiority only deepens mistrust and raises the stakes of any future confrontation. The China-Pakistan alliance is now the main driver of change in South Asia, empowering Pakistan and containing India. This evolving partnership is not just about military hardware, but about shaping the region's future security architecture. This partnership is reshaping the balance of power, but not towards stability. Instead, it brings heightened tension and persistent risk. The specter of conflict looms larger as each side prepares for scenarios that could spiral out of control. The world must now reckon with the consequences of this formidable, integrated strategic bloc. As global powers watch closely, the choices made in South Asia will echo far beyond its borders, shaping the future of international security.